What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, time to get back into some Ice Cube. Check us out. Alright, Amir, so today on The Great Debaters, we're talking about Ice Cube. We're dipping into the Predator album. For those that know, this is Ice Cube's best-selling album, highest-selling album. Spawned so many amazing hits, but what Amir and I are going to go do today is pick our 3 favorite songs. So we're not talking about singles, y'all. 3 favorite songs, period. It may be singles, but it might not. So don't necessarily only think of the singles when you are thinking about what Amir and I say. And that's something that's very important because some of the greatest songs in rap history and many of the songs I discuss in my book, The History of Gangsta Rap, are not necessarily the singles, and some of the crowd favorites, including Amir and mine, are not always the singles. So we're talking about the 3 best songs, period, off the Predator. So Amir, this is 1992, Ice Cube's follow-up to Death Certificate, which we both believe is his best album, and we also both believe is one of the best in the top upper echelon of rap albums. I would say it's easily a top 5 rap album of all time. Amir thinks it's the #1 rap album of all time, and I I agree. It's definitely top 5 for sure, and probably even much higher than that. All that to be said, today we're talking Predator. So Amir, what's one of your favorite songs off the Predator and why?
Again, to start with that, I gotta give some background, man.
Okay. Well, my bad, Amir. Give me some background on the Predator.
I know, right? No, so, man, Ice Cube, as we've talked about it probably at least 5 times on this show, if not closer to 10, because we've done videos of West Side Connection, NWA, Ice Cube, you name it. Public Enemy.
Burn, Hollywood, burn.
He knows how to start off albums.
That's
and whether it be a skit, whether it be a song, it's usually one of the best tracks on the album. So, first day of school intro, it's just so good. It's funny, it's dope, it preps you nicely for the awesome Queen sample that we hear on When Will They Shoot, among other samples. But When Will They Shoot being one of my top picks, and one of not only it is my favorite song on this album.
Okay.
But on top of that, it's one of my favorite songs in Ice Cube's career. This guy, like I just mentioned, knows how to start off start off albums and songs for that matter. But this song, dude, there's like a bunch of quotables on here, and okay, so one of my favorite lines in this were he got a lot of flack for No Vaseline,
right.
and actually, and not just because of dissing NWA, but mainly because of what the JDL and other organizations deemed as anti-Semitic remarks, because he called out Jerry Heller and said Jew and other things in the song. So he was actually some pressings of the album didn't have Black Korea and also didn't have No Vaseline.
Right.
So one interesting line in this song that I really like a lot is he says, "I can sing like a jaybird, but don't say the J word."
Right.
And I was like, that is just very powerful, just right there in itself, because he's talking about what he's went through as an artist, talking about how he's shunned from certain even markets where they can't even advertise his face in certain areas. I'm pretty sure in Oregon his face was actually, or his image was banned for a certain period of time. So this is just some guy's freedom of speech, and he's being shunned, he's losing sales, there's a lot of stuff just happening with his name. When Will They Shoot, he touches upon it. He says, "Don't call me African American thinking it's all fair again. I'm blacker than a trillion midnights." It's like, dude, this guy, like what he's saying, it's the way Ice Cube does things, the way other people do things, or Ice Cube just in this era, and 91 too, well, this is 92, but in these eras, Ice Cube is just one of the top, if not the best rapper. So, for real, the last verse, I love how he talks about Dub C and the Mad Circle, Cypress Hill, Ghetto Boys, the Lynch Mob. He interpolates all these rap groups and is very energetic. And lastly, the last line of the song was also super powerful, how he wants to just be by the window because it's so hot, and then he hears a shot, boom, which is reminiscent of the famous photo of Malcolm X, and then as we all know, BDP had done the cover in, was it 88?
Yep.
So, dude, just that song has to be one of them.
That's also one of my picks. And as he had done on America's Most Wanted, as he had done on Death Certificate, and as he does here, this song I kind of look at as like a summary of what's going on with Ice Cube, what's going on in the world in a broad scope of things. Whereas a lot of the other songs on those 3 albums are very specific stories. This one is kind of that general set us up for what's going on in the rest of the album, what's going on in his world, what's going on in the world, and what's going on in the rap world. So When Will They Shoot's phenomenal. I love sampling the X-Clan on there, Brother J. I love the sonics of the song, the construction of it, a lot of the lyrical stuff you addressed, but I just love how Ice Cube was able to weave in all these different things in the world, in rap, and in his career and his life. Phenomenal work.
Dude.
So, Amir, what you got for your second pick?
So, one of my other picks would be with one of the 3 tracks DJ Muggs produced on here.
Okay.
And this one is We Had to Tear This Motherfucker Up.
Okay.
So just as you had mentioned that When Will They Shoot is kind of talking about what Ice Cube is basically addressing on the entire album, I think We Had to Tear This Motherfucker Up is another one of those, because this song, or this album, but especially this song, talks about the LA riots.
Right.
And throughout the album, Ice Cube, especially on one interlude on the album, he says, like, basically, if you listen to my last album, I was talking about things that would happen, you know, and I basically prophesized the riots and all this stuff. We had to tear this motherfucker up, how he's just sampling, the jury is all not guilty, and then peace, quiet, and good order, that's how we want to keep our streets. Dude, talking about the looting, what he's going to steal, the Dunkin' Donuts cake mix, don't rob from the black-owned stores. It's just the energy on the song. This is very, and you know, there's other songs like in this era that also captured this, like The Day the Brothers Took Over on the Chronic.
Right.
Ice Cube's We Had to Tear This Motherfucker Up, man. It's just so good. It's one of those songs that I love the energy he has. I love the chorus, make it rough. It's just exceptional. I think DJ Muggs, I really like how he hopped on this album and produced that cut. It was just so good. And it's also what he's smoking here is DJ Muggs, or was it B Reels? I don't remember, but this piece too, also from Cypress Hill.
I'm going to go with a different DJ Muggs song than Now I Gotta Wet You. Because Muggs, I think, is one of the most underrated, if probably not the most underrated producer, which is odd to say given his phenomenal, astronomical success. But he's rarely mentioned as one of the best rap producers of all time, but he definitely is. He's in the upper echelon. This album is a prime example of that. In the first 4 Cypress Hill albums, just Muggs is phenomenal and continues today with a lot of his work that he's done. I had the fortune of interviewing and hanging out with him a lot over the years as well, but Muggs is phenomenal, and I just think that when you listen to Muggs's the Sir Jinx stuff is amazing, but Muggs has a different kind of, I think, muscularity to his sonics, especially on the Predator album, that, you know, I think that we get. And I think it's awesome because, like you were saying, Cube talks about the riots a lot on this album, and he talks about, on this song, he's talking about Simi Valley and the KKK and all this different stuff, so he's tying in his anger, frustration, disappointment, and venom into what's going on, and I just was like, you know, it's so powerful, man. And when you listen to the music and you realize the power of what Cube is saying and the insight and perspective that he has, it makes you really, really, really understand and appreciate how remarkable what he's saying really is. Like, it's astonishingly just so poetic, precise, insightful, reflective. It's just astonishing.
And just the skit to start that song off, man. You know you won, G. What? The wet t-shirt contest just started off and the sample comes in. And this is what we talk about all the time, but the production, whether it's from Muggs or Pooh or Jinx or a Bobcat or whoever, Cube is also in there, and they're all just like in here making this album complete.
Yeah, it's a cinematic undertaking. And that's the thing about production that Amir and I talk about on our own, we talk about in the Great Debaters, but the thing that's so important is the production, man. The production drives all of this, because Cube is a phenomenal rapper, but if he had whack beats, it wouldn't matter. Because there's plenty of rappers that are great that we all know and that we all like, and we always were like, man, I wish he had better beats, or I wish he worked with this producer or that producer, or I wish, they had this going on. But just look at what Jinx does. Just look at what Muggs does when they craft these like cinematic exposés. Obviously, Dre is a master of doing that too. Prince Paul. There's so many people that do it and have done it throughout rap history, but The Predator, Death Certificate, America's Most Wanted, Bomb Squad, of course, is early pioneers and people that did this type of stuff too. It's just astonishing, man. And Muggs was awesome to be able to get into the circle and be able to do it in a phenomenal way. So Amir, what's a third pick? Your third pick.
So my third pick is one of the singles.
Okay.
It may shock people that this is not one of my picks, but it's not. It Was a Good Day.
Okay.
It is being Wicked.
Okay.
I love the energy of that song. That is just completely my tempo, what I want to hear, or not what I want to hear, but that on this album, I really just dig that cut, man. I love the music video as well. It's interesting that Red Hot Chili Peppers, some of the members are in there breaking stuff, kind of carrying on with the Riot theme. And actually, another like little fun fact, I remember seeing a video that one of the Red Hot Chili members was saying that Ice Cube was their favorite rapper at that time too. So he's going across genres. But Wicked, just the sonics of it are I just love it. I love the synth. I love Don Jaguar on it. I think that was just I don't think I'd heard Don Jaguar before that. I think that was the first time I had heard him. So I was like, who is this guy? And then I heard him and I was like, okay, this is awesome. This is a great addition to the album. So I'm just a big fan of Wicked, man. That's an awesome track. And all my tracks too that I picked were in the first half, which I think is the better half of the album. I think tracks 1 through 8 are just so impressive. And then on the second half, when you flip the cassette side over or the vinyl over or whatever, that second half is also dope, but just in my opinion not as potent as that first half, which was just so exceptional.
Yeah, well, that's a great song. It's definitely not in my top 3, and it's probably maybe even in my second half of the best songs on the album. But I'm also going to go with the single for my third, and It Was a Good Day, because it's such an important song in the sense of showing the alternate side is the word I'm trying to say. The alternate or an alternative side of what goes on in the hood. And when I've interviewed and spent time with Ice Cube over the years, that's something that he told me. He's like, that's why it was so important for me to do Friday. It was so important for me to do these different things, because I'm not angry all the time. I'm not mad all the time. I'm not always in a, near a drive-by, or I'm not always this, or I'm not always that. And I think It Was a Good Day, being a single, coming out in this era of 92 where we do have the riots, we do have all this justifiably angry music that's coming out, and it just showed in the midst of all that chaos, Cube is able to craft this song that shows a different side of the neighborhood and shows a different experience. And I think sonically that's definitely not one of my favorite picks, but lyrically it's just so amazing to be able to do that song and to execute it at such a high level and to get respected for it is something that I just think it's an amazing song. I think it's one of the best songs on the album, and I do think it's also a very important song for rap. It's his most popular single. It's, I think, to my knowledge, the one that's gotten the most play on radio and video of his career. Every time I've seen him perform over the years, now he's performed it. So it's just an amazing song. and very atypical for not only the Predator album, but also for what Ice Cube does. But to get to know Ice Cube and hanging out with him a lot, it was very important for him to do that, to show other sides and other ways for people to think about things. So it's amazing to me.
Yeah, it was between that and Wicked for me, and that barely lost. But
right.
no, and even then, at the end of the song, he says, "Wait a minute, Pooh, what the fuck am I thinking about?" And then he goes right into, "We had to tear this motherfucker up."
Right.
Now back to the Riots. So it's just, there's so much to say about the album, the way they thought about it, and I was saying, the second half was not as top tier as the first half, but the second half had just crazy songs on it. Like, the album ends with Ice Cube and someone else luring in a cop into the trunk of the car, looking for donuts and killing him. Like, this is what he wanted, not the message to send necessarily, but this is kind of like the mood of not necessarily Ice Cube, but of the environment he was in. People had so much resentment for the police. This is off the Rodney King, the LA riots, just all this is just very, the context is very important.
Absolutely.
So, and I think that needs to be said.
Absolutely, man. The Predator, one of Ice Cube's many great albums, and we're glad to be able to discuss it today. But now it's your turn to let us know what you guys think. Hit us up in the comment section. Let us know what you think are your favorite 3 songs off The Predator. Amir and I will hit you back, or the good folks at Unique Access will. Be sure to pick up my book, The History of Gangster Rap. I talk about Ice Cube throughout the whole book, not surprisingly. And as I should, right, Amir? But make sure you like, subscribe, and share The Great Debaters on Unique Access and on Rappin And Snackin. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir Rahimi.
And we'll catch y'all next time. Hit us up.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the DOC, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.